We're going to convene the conference committee on House Bill 1800 HD1, SD1, on the state budget. For the House, it will be myself as chair, Representatives Ayu, Chun, Cochran, Garrett, Kahaloa, Kila, Kitagawa, Kobayashi, Lamosao, Morikawa, Nishimoto, Poi Poi, Takenouchi, Alcos, and Ward as managers.
Thank you. For the Senate, myself as chair, Moriwaki co-chair, Aquino, Decoit, Hashimoto, Inouye, Kanuha, Kidani, Kim, Lee, Shimabukuro, Wakai, and Favela members.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so first of all, Mr. Chairman, what we want to do is formally just, we both had an opportunity to go over the conference rules, and we're ready to sign them if you are. It's the ones that we,
Yeah.
yeah.
What happened to the one I signed?
Okay. Okay,
Oh, yeah, you can
we can go with yours.
It's the same.
Oh, now I got to read them, make sure it's the same thing.
Recess.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, the rules in general just kind of state that we will go over anything that we agree upon and over the table, and we will read those decisions going forward. So right now, what we have is we posted the agree disagree sheets. So all the ones that are agrees are done, right? It's off the table. So going forward from here, we'll be addressing all the disagrees, and then as we go through the process, we'll be reading off whatever the House and Senate come to agreement on. And the intention is that on the final day, when we vote, we will post the final version of the agree-disagree sheet with stamps that will basically say, you know, if we went with the House position or the Senate position, or if it's a House-Senate adjustment. And that's kind of the process that, by the rules, we're going to be following.
So if it's not discussed, then it's in limbo.
Right. Yeah, so we won't say limbo, we'll just not discuss it. Okay. So we can start off. Okay, so first up, we're going to be dealing, so some of the things that we did agree upon is Department of Agriculture on page 4 of the disagree sheets, AGR 122, sequence 10001, and on page 9, AGR 122, 2061-001. It's a House-Senate adjustment for converting 46 positions from special fund to general fund for biosecurity.
Okay, on page 30, AGR 846, sequence 2060-001, House Senate adjustment, convert 20 positions from revolving funds to general funds for biosecurity.
Okay. Moving on to the Department of Accounting and General Services on page 47, AGS 231, sequence 100-001.
1000-001, and page 65, ATG 100, sequence 2100-001, House Senate adjustment at $525,796, and 5 permanent positions for Criminal Justice Division.
Okay. Next is on page 60 also, ATG 100, 100 sequence 1001-001, and on page 66, ATG 100 sequence 2101-001, House Senate adjustment, $336,800, and 4 permanent positions for Civil Recovery Division.
For Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism, page 81, BED 113, sequence 101-001, House Senate adjustment, increase special fund ceiling by $34 million for Convention Center. For DCCA, page 146, CCA 191, sequence 2070-001, House Senate adjustment, reduce $2,940,000 in general funds in fiscal year 24 and 25 for Kalakaua building rooftop renovations. And on the same page, DCCA or CCA 191, sequence 2070-001, House Senate adjustment, increased special fund ceiling increase by $5,880,000 for Kalakaua building rooftop renovation.
Okay, next on page 158, DEF 116, sequence 102-001, House Senate adjustment, adding $56,340 for one building maintenance supervisor. Moving on to the Department of Education on page 204, EDN 700, sequence 1000-001, and on page 205, EDN 700, sequence 2100-001, House Senate adjustment, increasing federal fund ceiling by $130,000 and two positions for the Executive Office on Early Learning. And then moving, how am I reading so much? Okay, moving on to the next one, Department of Human Services on page 253, HMS 503, sequence 100-001, House Senate adjustment, $260,000 for utilities for youth correction facilities. Moving on to the Department of Health on page 284, HDH 100, sequence 100, 102-001, House Senate adjustment, adding $122,556 for two positions for Kalapapa.
On page 294, Health 420, sequence 305-002, at $8,880,000 for a new and existing group home services.
Okay, moving on to page 302, HDH 430, sequence 100-001, House Senate adjustment, $6,800,000 for psychiatric inpatient services.
On page 303, Health 430, sequence 305-001, House Senate adjustment at $2,150,665 and four positions to implement upgraded safety and security measures at Hawaii State Hospital. For Department of Labor, page 393, LBR 143, sequence 2100-001, add $51,914 for pay equity for boiler inspectors.
Okay, next is the Department of Land and Natural Resources on page 417, LNR 172, sequence 101-001, House Senate adjustment, $5,850,000 for forestry and resource management.
On page 421, LNR 401, sequence 102-001, increase special fund ceiling by $800,000 for sport fishing.
Okay, next is page 444, LNR 806, sequence 100-001, increase special fund ceiling by $2 million for state parks.
For Department of Law Enforcement, page 371, Law 900, sequence 100-001, at $1,265,600 for illegal fireworks task force.
Okay, for the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation on page 458, PSD 402, sequence 100-001, House Senate adjustment, $317,000 for electricity. On page 460, PSD 404, sequence 100-001, House Senate adjustment, $42,864 for electricity. And on page 461, PSD 407, sequence 100-001, House Senate adjustment, $75,000 for electricity. Next to the Department of Taxation on page 485, Tax 107, sequence 104-001, House Senate adjustment at $128,192 for senior software developer.
For Department of Transportation, page 513, TRN 501, sequence 101-001, increase special fund ceiling by $900,000 for roadside maintenance contracts.
Okay. Next is on page 515, TRN 511, sequence 101-001, increase special fund ceiling $300,000 for Hawaii County Police Services for state of Hawaii, for state highways.
Page 522, TRN 595, sequence 100-001, add $5 million for stored property and debris removal program.
Okay. On page 5, for the University of Hawaii, on page 580, UOH 900, sequence 101-001, House Senate adjustment, increase special fund ceiling $1,208,020 for four positions for campus safety state system-wide. On page 583, UOH 900, sequence 102-001, House Senate adjustment, $510,000 in six positions for system-wide mental health services. That's all we have for right now. So the plan is that we will meet again and try to come up with some other agreements, but that's what we have as of this point. And we'll reconvene. Okay, we'll reconvene tomorrow in this room at 1 p.m. Okay?
Thank you.
If there's anything, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.